Alrighty, welcome back. Today we are going to be going over who I think potentially could be EZAing for this Dokkan New Year's celebration. Now, if you are watching this later today, or perhaps in your time zone, it is 2025, I want to wish you all a happy new year and also success in your 2025 campaign. Whatever it is in life you are doing, I wish you the best of luck with that. 2024 was an incredible year for this channel, and I am extremely grateful that I'm able to cover this game every single day and talk to you to a much larger audience than what I came into 2024 with, right? We entered 2024 with a little bit over 600 subscribers, and we are leaving 2024 with over 13,000 of you here. So that is quite a substantial growth in terms of the channel. So I really do appreciate that. It's been a very fun year. Go ahead and leave, I don't know, an orange heart in the comments or something like that, just to let me know that you're here, and I do appreciate you. So happy new year. Again, I'm looking forward to big things in 2025. I can't wait to get there with all of you. So let's go ahead and get into this today. Now, I have 4 characters listed out for you here today that I think potentially have the highest chance of getting an EZA. Now, it is a bit surprising that 2 of these characters have not EZA'd yet. They are just New Year's campaign units, so they're going to sort of be 2 pairs. And I'm sure most of you who are familiar with the schedule of this game probably know who I'm going to be talking about today. But let's get into the most likely options, and that is going to be the 2021 into 2022 New Year's characters here, and that is going to be Super Saiyan 2 into Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and then his counterpart, who we'll talk about here in a moment. If you don't know who it is, then I guess you'll be surprised, but I'm sure 99% of you watching, I mean, that might be a bit aggressive, but like 90% of you watching know who his counterpart is. So this Goku, not much going on here with the kit, but a very fun TUR character. This was like my favorite TUR in the game for a very long time. I thought that this specific unit, when he came out, it was just a bit of a tragedy because if you guys know with how the JP schedule works, you know, he dropped at the end of December, and I'm sure most of you guys know the character that drops at the end of December is 4 weeks outside of the anniversary, and therefore there is like a 60% chance that they just get completely power crept out of the stratosphere, right? The 2 years prior, I think they did a pretty good job. Orange Piccolo was just better than the anniversary units for 2023 because 2023 was just a fever dream, but and then the year before or the year after that with the Dragon Fist and Hirudegarn, I think both of those characters managed to survive the 9th anniversary jump. That doesn't mean necessarily that they were like elite options, but they were still very good characters. I think Super Saiyan 3 Goku specifically, the STR one, sort of managed to last for a pretty decent time in the meta, right? And you could still say he's usable with some of the mechanics that he's bringing to the table. But overall, like I said, these guys tend to age out pretty quick just because like they are like literally just the release before the anniversary, right? Like there's not much of a jump in between. So you get to these characters right here and then you blink and we're at the anniversary. So hopefully their EZAs can sort of make do for that and they survive the 10th anniversary jump and the history does not repeat itself. But not much going on here with this Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Just a little bit of extra defense with performing a super attack. So high chance of performing a crit. That's nice. The ability to stun is nice. I'd like to see all of these numbers increase. Like if we just go to like a 50-50-50 right here with all 3 of these numbers, with the stun chance, the attack raising, the defensive raising, and then we also have the start of turn stuff. Like let's make this key 3 and just make this like straight up like 250 or something like that, right? Like let's get hog wild with this. Like we don't need to hold back with these EZAs because there's just not enough going here in this kit. So if we want to make this guy good, we need the damage reduction, we need orb changing, we need guard, all sorts of things like that where we're going to be able to make this character a little bit more viable, right? And with the HP condition being here, it is nice because it's just literally like there's a decent chance you can get this pretty common. Like 77% after turn 3 is pretty easy in today's meta. Like one bad normal or a character that is a tank takes a super and it's like 400k because that's just like modern tanking. It should be pretty easy to get this super attack or that active skill. So when we transform and go into Super Saiyan 3 Goku here, there's a little bit more going on, right? We still need to up the defensive raise and the stun chance, I think just to 50%. But this character really like a lot of times is like super, right? Like super. So maybe if they even want to add more, like let's just go crazy, right? Like let's make this character able to do 5 or 6 supers, you know, extra attack and defense performing a super attack. Like this character to me feels like somebody that's just going to go into slot 2 and he's pretty good, right? And this right here, just this little like these like buffs can just go, right? Like or not this one. This one's fine, but it's this one, right? High chance of performing a critical hit starting from the 7th turn from the character's entry turn. That is way too long. Like that's trash. 7 turns from the character's entry turn. So if you enter on turn 3, your ass is not seeing that till at least turn 10. Like that's trash. So high chance of performing a critical hit should just be innate. We need the guard, we need the damage reduction. Should be pretty simple. So Super Saiyan 3 Goku, very hype EZA. I'm expecting this seems to be the case here for this guy. And now we can talk about his counterpart, and that is going to be the old Kid Buu. So Kid Buu, we've been talking about him lately on the short side of things for this channel. Just because lately I've been talking about like characters that deserve an LR and don't deserve an LR, and Kid Buu is just the meme, right? Like we literally got GCA 6 before we got LR Kid Buu, and Dokkan came out in 2015. Like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't, not one bit. Like you look at how Kid Buu is handled in the other major or premier Dragon Ball gacha, Dragon Ball Legends. Kid Buu has an LF and he has an Ultra, and for those of you who don't know, like Legends Limited and Ultra essentially was like the LR rarity of Dokkan, and then Ultra is just, it's a whole other thing. But aside from like a few exceptions, like when we talk about Ultras and Legends, it's Vegito Blue, Gogeta Blue, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Ultra Instinct Goku, Beast Gohan just got one, right? Like we're talking big boys, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Broly, Super Gogeta, Super Vegito, like the big dogs of Dragon Ball, right? And Kid Buu got a character of that rarity. So that goes to show you what they think of Kid Buu as a character, considering he has a Premier Legends Limited and he also has a Premier Ultra. So like just Dokkan Fest for Kid Buu just doesn't make sense. Like this character, we all know deserves an LR, but here we go. So looking at his attacks and stuff like that, key 3, attack and defense 180 at the start of turn, cool, let's just buff that up. Same thing right here, we need more attack and defense on super attack to get those numbers higher. We're gonna need guard, we're gonna need damage reduction. That is just how EZAs work in the modern day. Great chance of nullifying unarmed super attacks. I wish that this wasn't unarmed, because I always forget how, like what the unarmed super is, but it just means like, I wish that it would have been a little bit more common of a super attack effect. I want to say it's like more strike based ones, right? So that one actually is pretty good. Now that I think about it, yeah, that is pretty good, because if you do Red Zone Kid Buu, he nullifies like, it feels like the whole game, right? So I think that this EZA has a lot of potential and could be really good. So that is why I have this guy up here, right? I think Kid Buu, it's like if this guy EZAs, it's 99% that they're going to do a dual EZA. I don't know why they would just EZA this guy or EZA this guy and then just not do the counterpart. Like there's no reason to. Just do them both. More than likely they'll do both. So that is it for the major prediction. This is what I think it's going to be, but I do want to give a puncher's chance to the New Year's units from the year before, and that is going to be Pikkon and Janemba. Now, the main thing from Pikkon is we just need a little bit more. I think that this character still has like the slightest bit of utility, right? Like it's not much, but you potentially can run this character and get into a very specific situation where you can hide him and then he dodges attacks when he does see them, and then you have that Ghost Usher that he has, because this character does have access to a Ghost Usher, if you guys do not know. Delays a single targeted enemy's attack for 1 turn. So if this guy EZAs and then all of a sudden normals aren't just the death of the character, we really are working with something here. And then he also has a unit super attack when we have a Goku or a Vegeta Angel in the same turn. So you run this guy next to Tech Gogeta, and that's going to be a big unit super attack effect and stuff like that. We need to be able to raise defense on super. We need potentially the ability to stun or something like that. At least he does have seal when we get a Rainbow Key Sphere. So when we do get a Rainbow Key Sphere, he is going to be able to seal the enemy, which is nice. So just looking at things like that, but guard, damage reduction, the typical stuff that we would be expecting for an EZA. So the last character I want to talk about in today's video is going to be Tech Janemba. Now with Tech Janemba, the big thing, because I don't want to keep you here all day, but the main thing that I want from this character is the incentive to transform. When, like, and I'm sure most of you who especially used this character when he came out, Janemba, you would find yourself 99% of the time just staying in Tech Janemba, because Tech Janemba is just, he's just straight up like, or not Tech Janemba, but base form Janemba, excuse me, is just good, right? Like he has the innate guard, right? He has the Tech Gohan ability here. There's no, if ands or buts about it. He's always going to have the guard, and he's always going to have this damage reduction, basically. I think what we would really, not always have it, but he's going to have damage reduction if you get 2 rainbow key spheres. Not the hardest thing in the world, especially if there are rainbow key sphere changers on the team. But what I want to see is this character himself become a rainbow orb changer. I think that would be really big for the character, and then we could potentially tweak that damage reduction up to maybe 50, or we could make it 10% per rainbow key sphere obtained or something like that. So we could potentially have guard and like 60% damage reduction on a really good turn, or maybe 20% per rainbow key sphere. Something like that I think would really make this character good. But what do we need to do, right? When we transform, we just need there to be an incentive, right? He can't just be literally dodge or die, right? He becomes a rainbow orb changer when he transforms, so that is good. But we need attack, defense, like extra stuff when we get these type key spheres. We need extra things like guard. We need the extra damage reduction. He guards all attacks for 1 turn. That is good, but we need to get rid of this, right? We just like right here where I'm about to highlight it, where we're highlighting, just get rid of that, right? We just want this to just be guards all attacks. We need, like, I want the way that Janemba works. If I asked 10 people in a room, which version of Janemba would you rather be using solely off of like which character you enjoy more, most samples of 10 are all going to say the Super Janemba. And then occasionally every few 10, right? So like 95 out of 100 people are going to say they want to just rather run Super Janemba. So that is basically what I think. They just need to make this character good enough to the point where he feels like you would rather run Super Janemba than the regular Janemba. But hey, Tech Janemba, he's always been a dog. He's always been a rock. He has always held it down for me. Just unfortunately, we are just way past the days of him being like relevant, and 30% damage reduction in guard with the defensive numbers he has are just not enough now. So there you go. 4 characters who I think are going to, or potentially could EZA. I don't think they do all 4. I think they would do one of these sets. So let me know down below who you guys think is going to EZA during 2025's New Year celebration. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to leave an orange heart in the comment section below, just so I know you either made it to this point or you did it earlier. Leave a like if you did enjoy, subscribe if you are new. Have a great new year. I'm looking forward to huge things in 2025 for this channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.